All right, folks, so today we are here for the Creation Health Program. So how many of you all want to live a good life, a big life, a full life?
Come on.
Okay, so do you think that's just going to happen without putting some effort in?
Yeah,
Probably not. Right, probably not. So what we love about this program is it's based on 8 principles. The principles are choice, rest, environment, activity, trust, interpersonal skills, outlook, nutrition. That seems a little overwhelming. That's a whole lot to remember, right? Well, we're going to break it down. In each session that we come to, we'll deal with 1 or 2 of the principles. We want to see where you are first. So everybody should have an assessment. And when you get a moment, we'll do our assessment. You don't have to do it here. Usually we do it during the program, but we want to just see where you are. So you'll be asked a series of questions under each of the principles. You'll score yourself, and that's where you are as far as how you make choices, what kind of rest you're getting, what your environment looks like. It'll also test you and see where you are as far as how much activity you're getting in, lacking, where your trust level is. Do you know yourself? What's your interpersonal skills? What's your outlook on life? And what are you putting in your body to eat, your nutrition? Sometimes when we focus on, all right, so one person give me, if you want to get your life better, which one do you focus on? If you had to pick one, which one do you usually focus on? Activity. Okay, Mr. Macho. Okay, all right. Somebody else? Nutrition. Who said nutrition? Yes, nutrition. Why? Because women are always trying to not have that last donut. Somebody have something different.
Rest.
Rest. Yeah, I would probably pick rest because I'm go, go, go. And then I start looking crazy and I'm like, okay, well, let me sleep. And I think of sleep first. But what else can you think of that's rest other than sleep?
Gardening.
I
Meditation.
love that.
Yoga.
Because we think that rest is just sleep. How many of us have ever slept, woke up, and felt horrible? You got 8 hours, but because you went into that rest, maybe being up 16 hours, that 8 hours is really you haven't even caught up yet. And so rest can be a lot of different things. Gardening.
Self-care.
Self-care, which I evade, and I need to stop doing that. You are always encouraging me to do self-care. You know, if you like spas, if you like just being in a park. For me, the beach is self-care. I don't get there often, but just listening to the water is a part of how I rest. In one of our sessions, a woman said her rest was just sitting in the car by herself. Now, we might look at her and be like, wait, what? But that's her rest. Maybe she's got to get away from a bunch of kids. Maybe she's got to, get away from the dynamics of the household. And for her, rest is just sitting in the car. All right, so other than rest, let's pick one more.
Mine would be choice.
Choice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about choice. Why
Because choice affects everything.
It does. I am glad that you said that, because the interesting thing about these 8 principles, there is interconnectivity with all of them. All of them. And so, okay, so tell me about why you would pick choice.
So choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though somebody said rest, you got to choose to take that rest. Might say nutrition. That's a big one for a lot of us, because we got to choose whether we're going to have the donut or not have the donut. Have the chips or have an apple. So everything.
You have to choose the apple.
Yeah. Choice. Do I choose to trust you or not trust you?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the person's higher power is. So, yes.
Okay, so that's good, and that brings out a point that all of these are interconnected. I want you to look at a few things that you'll be able to take home with you. You have a bag to keep all your goodies in. You want to keep this assessment, because when we go through the program, you're going to do the assessment at the top end, and then you're going to do it at the back end when we get done with the program. And the reason why we do that, not that you're going to have dramatic changes, but you're beginning to think about all of these dynamics. And your thought process, your mindset might start to change. So you're going to see either what you need to work on or what you can already strengthen and further develop. Okay, so we usually have folks take the assessment at the front, and it's not a test. It's just to see where you are, as how you think about each of these principles and how they impact your life. You also get to take home, for those of you that have magnetic surfaces, just keep it on your mind. Are you creation healthy? Are you living these principles in your life? Okay? So that's just something fun for you to have. This is, of course, a bookmark. If you're a reader, these principles will be in your face. You need to read and have them with you. And this also just kind of gives you a synopsis. It's just like a little pamphlet that gives you a synopsis of each of the principles and how they impact our life. These things seem very simple, but they shape us. And when they shape us, they shape our families. And then when they shape our families, what do they shape?
Society.
Our community. So we don't get to live in a bubble. How we develop this, then that is an offspring of what's happening in our family, and then an offspring of what's happening with us as we interact with other people in the community. You know, we are always concerned with, well, why is this happening in this community? Or why is this happening in another community? It doesn't happen by happen chance. These areas in our lives may possibly be underdeveloped. And because they're underdeveloped, we're not living our full life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions so far? Okay, we can pause for a second. All right, so that's how we would open up, okay, and give them just a quick overview. And then we start getting into each of the activities. Now we're gonna do one, you're all not gonna be happy with me. We're gonna do, I shouldn't do this to you all, but I'm going to. We're gonna do activity. I need 2 volunteers.
I'm terrible. I'm awful.
Okay, I'll do it with you. Who's gonna count? I don't even know why I'm volunteering, because I was like an ostrich when I'm doing it.
I could do it when I'm
If you beat me, we're gonna have some issues. Okay, so we're gonna do it to a count to 10. I cannot count and hula.
Okay. We'll count.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Give me a head start. I'm kidding.
Ready?
You gotta start high.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Go.
1, 2,
Let's see.
3, 4.
You didn't say it.
9.
You are awful.
You didn't say the weight. You didn't say the weight.
Very smart. Very smart. Very smart. He's like, okay, yeah, you didn't say how to do that. Very smart, very smart, very smart. Good, good, good. Okay, so what does activity look like in our life? Because that was
Just
good.
like that.
That was good. You know why that was good? Because some of us want to compare ourselves to what's, so I have been a member of the Y for a moment. And I have used the facility 3 times. I'm not going to tell you how long I've been a member. I've used the facility 3 times. So I'm like, okay, well, my neighbor is a member of the Y, so I'm going to join the Y. I should have stock in the Y because my body does not naturally flow to that. And I have a swing fit. I didn't bring it tonight, but it's something that I stand on and I swing around on it in between my hearings. That works for me because I have a hearing on the hour, every hour, and at the end of the day, I'm white. So what am I doing? Moving to my next activity afterward, and then from there, right into my bed. And then I'm saying, oh, I'll work out tomorrow. And that goes on for a year, and then 2 years. And then my doctor's like, have you taken your blood pressure medication? You know, so those are the things that we want to look at is, we'll say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. So how do you make it work for you? Either on the arm, around the waist, how do you make it work for you? Yeah. One young lady that we, in one of our other sessions, she anticipates and fears starting. She has a young baby, and her only opportunity is at the end of the day, and she's like, well, I don't know how to start. And we gave her some advice and said, do 5 minutes. It seems like, okay, 5 minutes, I'm not doing anything in 5 minutes. Make yourself want it. You know, do 5 minutes and stop. Don't start out with 2 hours, because when you start out with 2 hours, you're not gonna do it anymore. See how you do for 5 days at 5 minutes. If you're craving it, inch it up to 10 minutes. and just keep inching up. Because sometimes we have to trick our brain. We kind of get stuck in the mode of other people. Well, they say I'm supposed to go to a gym. They say I'm supposed to work out for an hour and a half. That might not really fit into your lifestyle. You know, your lifestyle might be taking a run at midnight. Ladies, be safe. Take your necessary things with you. Or your run might be 5 o'clock in the morning. When I first started to really take activity in my life seriously, my daughter had left for college, and you do a lot of things, but not activity for self-care. And I said, this is crazy. I need to start taking care of myself. She had bought me a Fitbit, so I was kind of enjoying the toy. Spoiler alert for women, 5,000 steps, maintenance. 10,000 steps, that's when you start losing weight if you're doing it to lose weight. 5,000 steps is maintenance, which maybe that's all you want to do. But if you want to have some activity and move some things off of your body, you need to do over 10,000 steps. So just keep that in mind. And so I had this Fitbit, and I was competing against myself. In between my hearings, if it was a non-appearance, it was only 10 minutes. You know, I don't have that much time. I was like, I'm gonna go walk for 5 minutes. So I'd walk around the block, come back in, do the next hearing. If I had a little bit more time, okay, I feel good. I'm gonna do 3 blocks. And before you knew it, I lost 15 pounds in a month, which is like unheard of at my age. I will not tell you how old I am. You know, it just takes us longer now. You know, the longer we wait, the harder it is to move some things off that you want to move off. And so that worked for me. That might not work for everybody else. But you have to, when you're talking about any of these principles, you have to look at what works for you, or else you won't be intentional to do it. Rest. We went over rest a little bit. Environment. All right, so, and I'm kind of jumping around because I don't want to go down the line. So environment. What kind of environment do you need to function your best? One volunteer.
I need an organized environment.
Yeah, I need an organized environment as well. Is there anything in particular in the environment that you need? Candles keep me, I need lavender, I need eucalyptus, those kinds of things, because I'm already hyper. So I need things that are gonna settle me down. Anything else you can think of that you might need? And there's one that I think that everybody needs. We kind of back burner it, but a plant, and not a plastic one. Even if your thumb you feel is black, a plant, why is a plant important?
Because it cleanses the air.
Cleanses the air, cleanses the air. And that is good. Maybe that's all you're gonna get. You know, let's say your job just has you round the clock. Having a plant in your environment is very, very healthy to keep that. It's sort of a play, you and the plant. You know, it's letting off what you need, you're giving it what it needs, and so a plant at the bare minimum is good for people to have in their space. Let's touch on trust. I'm a woman of faith, so I center my trust in the one above, the one who created me, and the things I think about why I center my trust in him is the Bible tells me that he created me in his image. Okay, well, he's supposed to be real great, so if I'm created in his image, then I must be really great too.
Right.
That's how my brain works. Even when I'm making mistakes, even when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, he said I was created like him, so I must be some good stuff. You know, why do you want to have something where you center your trust in? Whether it be the Bible, not the Bible, whether it be God or something else, why do you think it's important to have something to center your trust in?
Let go of things you can't control.
Let go of things you can't control.
Balance.
Balance.
Yes.
Release.
Yeah.
Who do you talk to? Who do you get stuff off of? Sometimes the center for someone might be their therapist.
Right.
You know, because it's a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
And they feel like whatever they say in that judgment-free zone, it's not going to blow back on them.
Right.
You know, it might be a best friend. And do you think that there's only one center of trust? Because I trust God, but I also trust other people and in other dynamics. Yeah.
Some people trust their pets.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I've heard of people that's like, I can't trust nobody but my dog. They won't share none of my business.
Well, that is definitely true.
Yeah.
Unless there's something we don't know about that pet. Now, I don't know if I follow that scheme if you got a parrot. Don't do that. Right. If you got a parrot, all your business is coming out. And you know when it's coming out? When you have some guests. So that would be one animal that I would be a little bit fearful of trusting. Okay. One to me that is very important, and that's just because I'm all the way at the top and the rim of the cup. Outlook. Even when things look like it is doom and gloom, I'm like, we're gonna do it.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
I know I get on my members' nerves all the way because I'm like, we're gonna do it, no matter what. Why do you think? Okay, so let's look at. If you could be honest, are you a glass half full or glass half empty?
Full.
Half full.
I've become full.
Good girl.
Full.
Oh, no answer? We get you there. We're gonna get you there. So what is the difference when we're thinking about glass half full, glass half empty? What are we talking about?
So I feel like it's a level of gratitude. What I have succeed what I don't have.
Okay, so positive versus possibly some negative vibes, right?
It's like you got lemon, it feels sour right now, but just put some sugar in it and make some lemonade.
So one of my, and this may not be for everybody, that's why I want people to share as to what is your sense of glass half full, glass half empty. For me, I think words are very powerful.
Yes.
You know why I think words are very powerful? Because God created the world that way. And after that, he said it was good. So if he said it was good, then it's good. And so sometimes in between the cracks, when we see things that are not successful, that don't mean it's not good. You gotta get there. You gotta get back on track. And I feel like if your words are, I just hate that. One family member who is not present, so it's not you. That's my sister, by the way. One family member, when she speaks, I hate water. I hate big pills. What do you think happens to that person when they say, I hate water? Do you think they're inspired to drink more water?
No, not at all.
Right. Whatever you speak, it's traveling, and it's gonna manifest. So if you don't like water, I'm gonna do my best to drink 8 ounces. You might only get to 6, but if you say you hate it, you're not even gonna drink 8. So words are sometimes we're very laxed with words. One thing that we taught in one class that my daughter learned from her 2nd grade teacher, think twice, act once. We don't stop to think about what comes out of our mouth. We don't stop to think about the reaction that we're gonna give. And not yielding to your emotions is not bad, but sometimes yielding to your emotions will give you a choice that I didn't know I was gonna assume that risk. Sometimes when we're dealing with, and this is a little bit off the beaten path, but sometimes when we're dealing with a lot of the dynamics in the community with our young people feeling that problem solving is, well, I will just shoot somebody, is because this is underdeveloped, and probably a lot more of these things are underdeveloped because there's no consequence in their mind for their actions. And the consequences that are there, they probably have a really dim outlook on life. Something has happened in their lifeline that they didn't properly get over. And so they're stuck there, and they're just functioning from that spot. And wherever it happened, whether it happened when they were 6 or whether it happened when they were 13, they're stuck there because nobody helped them to get over that hump. When I say get over the hump, sometimes things don't go away. but you have to deal with it and keep it in motion. Does that make sense? Okay. Nutrition, that's probably the easiest one. We always want to hone in on nutrition. We know what we're supposed to be eating. Cut it out. Water is a big thing, and a lot of people don't, I don't know, is our community bad with drinking water? I don't know. I think our community is not very good. We like Kool-Aid and sweet stuff.
Exactly.
I love me some apple juice, and it's not necessarily that great for me, because I drink it like it's running water. And I fool myself, oh, apple juice is good.
There's actually a statistic that if people only drink water for 1 year, they would lose 25 pounds.
I believe it. I believe it. Because I did it for 2 weeks with lemon, mint, and something else, and I was happy to report that I lost 2 pounds. So, yes, you were going to say something?
So, yeah, in this, where we're living, and yes, within our community, nutrition is not really exalted. Because if you look at the Asian community, and not Asians living here in America, but Asians living where Asia is, food is looked upon as medicine to ward
in many respects, you're right.
You know, to ward off the cancer, to ward off certain things. So they are constantly staying in front of the bus by making choices of, we're going to drink this soup, full soup, full bowl. It does wonders for the skin, for the circulation, for hair growth. Does it taste that good? But, you know, so nutrition is more than just a mouth feel. It's more than just sitting down to that gourmet meal, or worse, sitting down to that McDonald's grab and go.
Don't talk about my fish sandwich. Okay, go ahead.
But, you know, if we start looking at nutrition for what it truly is, we are not just feeding our mouth, but we're feeding all of our organs. And that's how, you know, that's how I'm choosing to look at it, because I do meal preps on Sunday, very purposely. You know,
to see what you're getting in.
Yes, because I'll use turmeric, which turmeric keeps inflammation down. And
so let me just stop you for a quick second. So this is kind of training. So this is what happens. You know, somebody says something, and somebody's like, oh, turmeric, I need to be adding that to my diet, because people sometimes don't know some of the things that they need to add or subtract from their life to have a better and healthier life. So that's what happens usually in these settings where, and I love when it's generational, where, you know, we have a 10-year-old and, you know, a 60-year-old. That 10-year-old is saying something to inspire the group. And we need to be getting back to that, because we have such gaps in our generational thought process. You know, 60-year-olds like, oh, no, they're just rude and they're not being nice, where we're maybe misunderstanding their approach to life based on things maybe that have occurred with them, or things that they're viewing. Sometimes younger people are looking at adults and like, okay, well, if you're acting snappy, then maybe I can act snappy too. We don't think about that because we think that we might be in a bubble, nobody can see our behavior, and then we get upset with kids. So I always love when there are, it's not all men, it's not all women, and then there are different age groups, because the conversation, everybody has an opportunity to feed off the conversation and add to it. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was a perfect opportunity to kind of say what happens in the group. And then depending on who's in the group, if there are kids, we'll do other activities to kind of keep everybody alive and ready to go. And we also give away items. I'm not giving nothing to y'all, I'm kidding. We always like to have on hand, we have some creation help journals, but writing is, especially the younger generation, even some of us, journaling is very important. You're releasing it. People hold on to things, and when they hold on to things, they can't move past it, and they can't grow. My philosophy is you should be growing always. If you're 80, you should be growing. You have something to add. There's value in your 80ness, and there's something for you to learn, even at that age. Even though you are full of wisdom, there's still something for you to learn. You're always growing, and sometimes we kind of stop. We're like, okay, well, I'm done. I've given my contribution. And it's just important to always be, and these things help you, these principles should help us to continue the mindset of growing. Anybody have any questions so far? That's pretty much how it flows. We spend a little bit more time on each session, just depending on how long the sessions are. For this program, we are doing a minimum of 2 principles per session just to get through the principles. We could do a whole session just on choice. And so it's a very flexible program. Sometimes we spend, depending on the group, we could spend 2 sessions on choice, because choice covers a lot of different dynamics, you know. And then sometimes we will pair, like Yvonne said, choice really covers all of this, but we may need to circle back while we're doing choice. We might need to do interpersonal skills. If you know you are a spirited individual like myself, you can't pop off on everybody. You have to find some balance when you're dealing with someone that maybe is a little bit more introverted or a little bit more calm in spirit. And so that involves choices. So that's pretty much how we do it. When they first come, everybody gets a shirt. And we usually start this way. We usually start, you know, we're so happy and privileged to facilitate this program. We are working under a partnership between Project Ricochet and Fayette County Public Schools. So we start with how it gets us here, and then we go into it. And we get so many questions, like it's hard sometimes to move on to the next choice, to the next principle. Because people, sometimes you get everybody that's quiet. I haven't had that in a long time doing this program. Usually people are asking questions and wanting to talk amongst themselves. And I always tell them this is a safe place. What happens at Creation Health stays at Creation Health. It's pretty dynamic when they are all wanting to contribute, because then it's kind of like, okay, we got to move on to the next principle. And if people don't talk, I'm a chatty Cathy. We will have something to do and say for the entire session. And they're like, how do you talk so much? Yeah, so because this covers a lot. But we kind of take a temperature of the room. You can't just have a template. You have to take a temperature of the room. We've done it with one person. And with one person, it gets very interesting, because then we might just hone in on activity or environment. They're just stuck there. So we will meet their needs there. We'll hit the other ones as well, but wherever they are more inclined to rest in that particular principle, we spend a lot of time there. So very, very flexible. We have a kids version to this too. And so that's it. Any questions? Well, not you. Any questions?
What activities do you do? I never did and
Well, I have a swing fit,
okay.
and then you'll have to come to the other ones to see the other activities.
Yeah.
And sometimes we call people in, so we haven't done this in a while, but if we have a masseuse, they can come in and talk with us and do some demonstrations on rest. So sometimes we have partners come in for a particular principle. And we would do that for activity. We might have somebody come in and do Zumba with us.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it.
Natalie, y'all, give her a hand.
And again, you know, we just feel the vibe of the room.